So, que viva Mexico, que viva America, and let's take back Cinco de Mayo. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Rodriguez.
Thank you, Councilmember Padilla, for bringing in this wonderful presentation. I'm glad I got to be here for it. And I'm really glad to see how, I wasn't familiar with the event in Boyle Heights. And I think it's really special. You know, there's a huge rockabilly in Vegas. There's a huge...
Every April.
Yes. And it's fun, you know, for those of us that I have a lot of friends that would go to Vegas every year. And so to know that we now have this here in our city, and I think that you guys have all been part of growing that here so that we can own these spaces, I just want to say thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Councilmember Hernandez, and thank you to the National Foster Youth Institute and all of the youth who are with us today. Very often we have youth come to City Council chambers to try to learn more about government. This is really an opportunity for all of us in government to learn from the youth, and so we're really grateful to have you all here and participating in this Shadow Day today. And I just want to say also, we can't let this moment pass without recognizing the mayor for her lifetime of work on behalf of foster youth. There is probably no leader in the United States of America who has been more laser focused on uplifting foster youth, creating new opportunities, creating visibility, creating the opportunity for elected officials to learn more about the actual experience within the foster care system than our Mayor Karen Bass, from the time that even before she was a member of the State Assembly, throughout her time in Congress, and continuing now. So on behalf of everyone, we're grateful to Mayor Bass for the work that she's done on behalf of foster youth. Thank you all very much for being here and being a part of today's presentation. Thank you. Mr. Gravener.
Good morning.
All items and general comment.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
All right, so we have a number of motions to light up City Hall. Let's see, we have for lighting up City Hall, come on, there we go. So we've got the illumination of City Hall. We have one from Karen Bass. That fucking fascist. Karen Bass shouldn't be really getting much of any power based on what we've seen from the violence that police led against protesters at UCLA that she was present for and leading and helping them do.
You'll need to speak to the agenda.
I'm saying this is a motion related to something Karen Bass is doing. I'm saying she should not be allowed to do that topic because she's because of that. So I'm explaining why I oppose this motion. So you can't control that content. We have, speaking of which, we got a street banner from DJ Krikorian for the Summer Night Lights program. Don't need that. No street banners. It's kind of expensive right now. Let's see. We've got a number of. We have a street banner 36 for Jewish American Heritage Month. Now, the city can frequently accuse council members and other elected officials and throughout the country and such frequently accuse, people protesting for Palestinian rights and for not having a genocide on them, that they're anti-Semitic. But there's plenty of actions the city has done that are actually anti-Semitic while claiming that they're fighting anti-Semitism. So, during the Fed tapes, Nuri Gill and KDL said some anti-Semitic stuff on that Fed tapes, and that's not even being acknowledged at all. So there's actual anti-Semitism there. And just a year ago, some of the same officers in this chamber that now target pro-Palestinian protesters violently arrested someone for standing up to someone holding a swastika sign in the rotunda. So the city doesn't actually fight actual anti-Semitism, which we stand firmly against. But then you claim people protesting.
So, Speaker, you've exhausted your 1 minute on this item. Please move on to another item.
All right, let's see. So you need to figure that out. We've got lighting up City Hall from Monica Rodriguez. Don't need that. There's lots of other ways to, let's see, we've got 41. That's reward money for snitches from Soto Martinez. No on that. 42, also reward money from snitches for snitches from Harris Dawson. No on that. 43, a motion from Kevin De Leon. He shouldn't have anything approved by this council. He needs to resign. He's already losing the election badly.
General public comment.
General comment. So over the past week, we've seen multiple cases where the police have gone in and have violently attacked, arrested, assaulted people protesting on college campuses in support of a ceasefire, in support of ending the genocide in Gaza. We've had people shot by the police by less lethal munitions, are getting massive injuries in the face. They're violating the rights of protesters, they're violating the rights of press, they're violating the rights of legal observers. I don't think any of you have spoken out on it at all. Why aren't you condemning the violence the police is committing against people protesting on college campuses? You need to launch an investigation into that. We just came from the police commission where the president of the commission literally was involved in the decision to do that at USC because he works for them. So you need to really clear that.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Harriet Elliott.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak
None.
to?
I'm speaking on my about directed energy. My public comment, general public comment.
So you have 1 minute for general public comment.
2 days ago, I was in the library and I got a Jeff Heck book, who I highly recommend, who writes books all on directed energy, particle beams, laser, and microwave. But this one was 1994, and he said, unfortunately, there's been nothing in the battlefield that's laser. Well, 2 years later, Israel developed the THEL. That's what it looks like, and it's very active in the battlefield. Last time I spoke, I talked about active denial, saying that it could stop any hostage situation. You might ask, why didn't it stop the October 7th Hamas hostage situation? Well, many leaders provoke wars. That's possible. I'm trying to, I had 20 of my friends killed. Okay, all my friends from my childhood are killed.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. Thank you, Arnold Sachs. I'd like to speak on item number 13, number 34, number 39, number 40, and public comment.
Okay. Good morning. You have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
Okay. Number 13 refers to another lien. I don't know if anybody in City Hall has gone down to the building on the corner at Figueroa where they have the lien offices. Have you gone there? I've heard that people have gone there. They've gone upstairs to talk to the people, and they're being told that the hearings are tilted against them. Low-income Latinos are losing their properties because the judges are voting against them, even though they go and get the correct information. I don't know if any of the city council people have been there to check that out, to find out why they're being tilted against low-income Latinos. I know they're facing a heavy burden. There's a lot of people living in their vehicles. There's a lot of people sleeping on the streets. You talk about, somebody was talking about homeless. Why is there a condition of homeless and homelessness? When did that shit start? When did that happen? I remember when Mayor Hahn was going to have a homeless plan in 2001. $15 billion. 22 years later, it's 10 times worse. It's all fucked up. Now, 34 refers to a street banner program. Are you going to use those fathead type banners to announce that street banner program for the firefighters that have fallen? Can you get money for the firefighters department, Mr. McCosker? Don't you have tired? Didn't your brother was actually a firefighter for LAFD? And you can't talk to somebody to get money to help them out to repair their equipment after they get done fighting fires and going on emergency calls for 25 hours a day? What's wrong with you? Are you that racist? Now, number 39 refers to a property bid, but it's more than that. It's a property and a business district. So how much is going to be collected? It mentions city-owned property. Who's paying for the city-owned property? And where is the city getting that money from to pay for the city-owned property? And who's watching out for it? And what if it's Metro-owned property? Is that considered part of the city? Or is that a different agency completely? So do they pay for a part of the bid? No, they don't. They just steal money. It's so goddamn ridiculous. They've been stealing measure our money. So my public comment is regarding, did anybody notice that the change in Medi-Cal that occurred about 4 years ago? There's no more Medi-Cal. It's Medi-Cal. Seniors are being denied the opportunity to get Medi-Cal. We need more equality. We need to have an epic discussion on how much bullshit is going on in this city council. You've gone from $170,000 a year to $250,000 a year in less than 8 years. And you're earning jack shit. You need a focus, your laser-like focus on the problems in your district. The city hall, the LAUSD is spending over $30,000 per student. They're grading on a zero plan. You don't need, you have a zero plan, you have a zero vision plan. Oh, and by the way,
thank you very much,
Mr.
Mr. Sachs. Your time has expired. Again, if there's anybody who wishes to speak about the North Hollywood Transit Business Improvement District bid, please raise your hand. I see none, so we will close public comment here in the council chambers on all agenda items, and general public comment will go next to the phones.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Which items would you like to speak to?
Okay, I'm not going to speak on the item. I'm just going to give public comment.
You have 1 minute for general public
comment. Basically, this is general public comment. Also, I just wanted to say that, and actually, I'll just go with my public comment. I was going to say something regarding some of the other items. Anyway, regarding subhuman lowlife, Nori Martinez said, if you are indicted, you will be suspended from this council. Pink-faced, corrupt Armenian dictator Paul Krikorian is lower than Martinez because he has indicted out on bail embezzling criminal Kern Price voting daily on the corrupt sleazy council. This is the black representation we have with 20% of the sleazy council. Black women are only 4.3% of the population, but 22% of female rape, 36% of female assault, 33% of the female homicide.
Caller, your time has expired. Next caller.
Thank you. Mr. Krikorian, can you please explain to the public how come on every other city council meetings, I hear you say we're going to take 10 minutes of public comment on the telephone, but you're not going to offer 10 minutes of public comment at the chambers. Where's the equality here? Because it's not fair that you're letting speakers at the city council chambers, all of them to speak, but you're limiting our access to 10 minutes. And sometimes I've heard days where you say, we're only going to take 4 callers. Why is that? Where's the equality right there? That clearly looks like a brown Brown versus Board of Education case that's being violated. And that separate is not equal. It should be equal. So, and then
Caller, your time
Supreme
has
Court
expired.
Thank you very much. Just in brief response, there's no requirement under the Brown Act that we take any telephonic public comment. We do that as a courtesy to the public, so there's no requirement at all under the Brown Act or Brown versus Board of Education that we do that. So we'll take one more caller and then we'll be done.
Caller, which items would you like to speak to?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Which items would you like to speak to?
Can you let me know which items are available? I'm sorry, I was waiting for a while and I couldn't hear which items got changed. Also, I think responding to the callers is a direct violation of Brown Act.
The items open for public comment are items 1 through 10, 12 through 16, and 21 through 46.
All right, I'll take that and general public comment, please.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
Thank you for always being professional. So, speaking of items, we have another CEQA exemption because all that bullshit about the environment's virtue signaling nonsense. We need a real explanation of why something needs to be CEQA exempted and why it doesn't. Item number 27 and item number 31 involves donating, quote, surplus equipment to other cities. I think if we care so much about the small businesses and allegedly all the small contractors in Los Angeles, why don't we give them some of that equipment? I think, aren't they all excited about build? I'm sure they would love some equipment, some extra equipment. Let's see. We have item number 46. Millions for rental assistance. That's what we need. We need more of that. We need to stop making money disappear into thin air and put it into the pockets of the people that need it the most. Right now, we're under investigation for making a bunch of money go missing for homelessness, and let's not follow that up with an investigation about where's the money going for the renters. So let's keep putting it into the people that need it so they keep them from getting evicted before the state and the feds come knocking at your doors asking where's all the money for housing. That's probably why you guys actually gave back the $150 million a couple years ago, because you knew that if you did, if you made it go missing the wrong way, the feds would come looking for it. Liquor license, item number 16. How do you determine what's necessity for a liquor license? There was just a shooting behind where I live. I don't want to go too far into details, but that's the second shooting there within a couple of years. It's getting ridiculous. No one walks around LA and thinks there's nowhere to get a drink around here. I'm sorry for the restaurant owner or whoever owns the business, but maybe you should have gotten into business of being enthusiastic about the food and the atmosphere instead of going into an area where there's liquor everywhere thinking like, well, I can't maintain my overhead. I got to sell liquor. Street lighting. Obviously, no one disagrees with street lighting. Come on, guys. Item number 36, $15,000 to fund any aspect of Jewish Heritage Month. One aspect of Jewish heritage is activism. And there were a lot of Jews at UCLA the past weekend a week that got arrested by police for speaking out against Israeli genocide of the Palestinians. Now, regardless of how you feel about Israel or the Palestinians, the way the cops treated those Jews was abhorrent. It was disgusting. And the way they let the Zionists attack them for 4 hours straight the night of April 30th is disgusting. So we want to talk about Jewish heritage? How about activism? How much time do I have left before I go to public comment?
You have 26 seconds.
Thank you very much. Street banner for No Whole Summer Nights. Yo, we need more community engagement instead of just throwing up a fucking picture of a thing that says, hey, come down, if you have the day off, come interact. We need the council members to go down and stop evading the public. Don't go for a photo op, walk amongst the people and tell them, hey, come down to this event. Don't just wait for security and all that bullshit. Now, general public comment, please.
1 minute for general public comment.
Caller disconnected.
Hi, city attorney. It said I was muted for my public comment. I actually didn't disconnect.
So, unfortunately, we've already closed general public comment, and our system shows that you disconnected. So, and you've already used your...
I'm sorry. I had never... that was a different private caller because I had
next
never
caller.
actually hung up.
We have to move on to the next caller. Next caller?
All right. That's not on topic either. So we're gonna go ahead and close item 39 for comment now as well. We've exhausted. We've done more than enough to take comment on that item. So let's go ahead, Madam Clerk, and move on to the agenda items we can vote on.